everyone, it's Darkest Hour here again. Welcome back for another video. Today we are playing Duwin's Reno Hunter deck in the October season on the Wild Mode ladder. By the way, please excuse my voice today. I have a bad cold. It is the consequence of travelling on the train every day. Everyone's ill, no one uses a tissue, and you just get infected. So if my voice goes, please do forgive me. Okay, this deck here was used by Duwin to hit Legend in the October season. He's played this deck on both the EU and the NA servers. On EU, he played Sludge Belcher. On NA, he was playing Mind Control Tech, and he says that with MCT, it's good for when you fall behind. It can give you a bit of a comeback on the board. So Duwin also says this is the worst meta he's ever seen, but he really wants to make Hunter work. Why is this the worst meta? Well, I think a combination of Snip Snap Warlock and Secrets Mage being the two dominant decks in the meta at the moment. I think that's making it somewhat unenjoyable for people to play. I've been lucky. Whilst I face a fair bit of Secrets Mage, I rarely face Snip Snap Warlock. But I know friends of mine in the game have a completely different experience. They are playing Snip Snap Warlock against Snip Snap Warlock all of the time, and they are very frustrated by it. So yes, I definitely think it's time for a nerf in that regard. This deck here is a Death Rattle centric deck. You've got N'Zoth the Corruptor, you've got Wild Bloodstinger, which I have featured in a previous video thanks to EK Designer. Wild Bloodstinger, really good at disrupting your opponent's decks, pulling minions out of their decks and attacking in. So let's have a look at this deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder. And this right here is a Shaman. So immediately it's wild. So you think even Shaman, right? Because that's what you used to face all the time. If you faced a Shaman, it was always an even deck. However, now, Quest Shaman, Battlecry Shaman, essentially, seems to be all the rage. At least in terms of what I've been facing. And I assume there'll be a Shadow Walk coming down at some point soon. Well, not soon, much later in the game.
I'll show them all.
Mad Scientist still continues to be one of the best 2-drops in the game from a value standpoint. Quite amazing, considering that this card was introduced in 2014 during the Naxxramas expansion. So, nice slow start from him. We're happy with that, because despite getting the Scientist down, our hand is still looking relatively slow going forward. Feels like a bit of a waste on the snipe there. Maybe I shouldn't have played it, knowing that he'd be playing a lackey soon. So was that a misplay? I don't know. It's taken some damage off of the board, I guess. Zilliax there takes spell power off of the board. We don't get any healing. So was that a waste of Zilliax? But otherwise, what would I have played? What would I have done? Oh dear. It's a Jade-centric deck. Okay, so he's gonna grow his Jade Golems, then he plays the Shudderwock, and then we can't come back from the board that he creates. Again, feels bad. No healing gain from Zilliax, but we do remove something from the board, so that's okay. We are kind of keeping the board under control as we head now into turn 6, And with turn 6, we can play the Kartuk Defender. And that's pretty good. More board presence. Certainly good in these early turns. Now, thinking ahead, once the Kartuk Defender dies, we have Sylvanas.
Of course it's the right way.
And maybe N'Zoth on 10, if our Death Rattle minions have died. Maybe N'Zoth on 10 is the way to go to put him under pressure. Well, that's really interesting. Using a Devolve there. Was it really worth devolving Kartuk Defender? I mean, I know that you want to get through it as quickly as possible. You don't want to go through the 2 layers of the minion. So maybe it makes sense. But if he knows I'm a Death Rattle deck, there are other minions that you want to devolve, I think, more than Kartuk Defender. Like Sylvanas. I don't know. I think he'll regret that. But then he probably plays Hex, right? So he's probably got a Hex saved up for Sylvanas. We'll see. We'll see if he trades in with the minions here, or whether he goes face to test for a secret, like explosive. Yeah, goes face. Alright, goodbye to your board, sir. Goodbye to your board.
Of course it's the right way.
Alright, quest complete. This is where it gets scary. Oh, he didn't do anything. Oh, sure. Okay.
You'll find me wherever the action is.
Well, if you're not going to do anything, then I certainly am going to do something. And that's a big something. Getting crushed to the face and throwing all the damage face. Because we just try to put him under as much pressure as possible. Oh, but he was ready. Junior Water Speaker. Honestly, I've not seen that card played for about a year, maybe 2 years. It's a pretty good card. With the Battle Cry doubled, plus the 3/6 stats. It's decent. Alright, so let's see here. We're going to take the Pyroblast, I think. What I was looking for is some way to get lethal, but there isn't something that we can discover
I'll show you how it's
that does 8 damage.
I'll show you how it's done.
So we just set up for lethal next turn. But it's either, what, a Fireball or a Pyroblast, right? But nothing in between? 6 damage, 10 damage, but no 8 damage. So, double Pyroblast picked up, just to be safe, you know. In case he manages to heal his way back to full health. Both of those are really going to help. Swipe was tempting because it would have helped with his board, maybe.
Is it power you crave?
But yeah, I don't see how he comes back now. He's not healing. I just hope he doesn't concede. Because if he concedes, we can't use our Pyroblast. And if I really wanted to be smart about things, I would Pyroblast my own face next turn, and then kill him the turn after. But he concedes. That's really unfortunate.
Your soul shall be mine. Let the hunt begin.
Okay, this is a Warlock, so this will be a proper test for this deck. Whether this is a Reno lock, whether this is a bloody Snip Snap Warlock, or whether it's a Darkest Hour lock. In terms of the Warlock decks that I've been facing, I would say that I've been facing more Darkest Hour Warlocks the last couple of weeks, followed by Reno lock, followed very rarely by Snip Snap Warlock. But I know for friends of mine it's been the other way around. It's been Snip Snap Warlock played against the most, followed by Reno lock, followed by Darkest Hour. Okay, so I guess Stitch Tracker.
Will not be tamed.
I'm going to take Zephyrus because maybe we discover something useful. Like a Hex or a Polymorph, particularly against a Void Lord. So, I guess we play Snipe in that I don't want him to be able to trade into a minion I play and pop his Void Caller earlier. Oh wow. Okay, I played into that like a fool. But there are no Void Lords in hand. There are no Void Lords in hand. Wow. In that case, sure, let's go off. Let's find two spells here. Sacrificial Pact, pretty good. Sacrificial Pact, pretty good. And we kill that because we know there's nothing in hand. Okay, so initially a bit worried about the Snipe play into the Void Caller. But I thought if he played one Void Caller, he wouldn't have another one in hand so soon. But anyway, this is Darkest Hour Warlock. So we need to keep the board clear.
My pack will hunt you.
We need to keep the board clear at all costs here. And I know that he will trade into the 2-1 and kill it. But that's keeping the board clear.
That didn't quite hit the mark.
Why did he play that? Did he not read the text? I find that interesting.
I have no time for games.
Or was he just trying to dump a card? To keep his hand clear. Or as clear as possible. Anyway, preemptively playing Sylvanas in response to Darkest Hour. Which he's now playing. Of course. Oh wow. He even gets the Zilliax. Okay.
Let none survive.
Let's steal something good. That's pretty good. Let's steal something else good. Oh, pretty good too. I mean, I know the Lich King is going to die next turn, but we get a card from him. We get one card.
I'll show them. I'll show them.
And do we want to pop the Void Lord? I think we do, while we can. We get no healing from it. It just make it easier to trade into next turn. With our Void Lord. Although I have this horrible feeling it's turn 9. I have this horrible feeling that I've played into... Yeah. We've played into Mal'Ganis. Oh dear. I mean, look, it's not the end of the world.
I have no time for games.
Because we have no time for games. I mean, look, we've survived his first push with Darkest Hour. Yes, there may be some more threats left in that deck, but we've survived the first push. I mean, normally, people don't survive the first push. They're dead. Ooh, that's a problem. Kind of. Alright, what do we get? Oh, hello. Okay, I take it all back. Him playing Frostmourne was the best thing that could happen to me. I get Mal'Ganis. That means if he plays Gul'dan, he doesn't get Mal'Ganis back to life. That's so good. Okay, so, do we just taunt up? I think we do. So we've been quite lucky so far. We are ready, though, for his second push with Darkest Hour. Because we have ways of clearing the board. And we have MC Tech. So it should be fine. That's an interesting play. Solarium makes me wonder. What is he looking for here? Okay, Sacrificial Pact. If you're drawing those cards, you've got to play them or you're going to lose them.
From nothing, power.
Plague of Flames? Huh. Okay. Sure. It feels like N'Zoth here can win us the game. Because we've seen both Plague of Flames. I mean, does he play Twisting Nether? If he plays Nether, we're sad, but I suspect he doesn't. So this should just be game over.
Our home, our tombs.
Okay. Maybe it's not game over. Maybe... What does he get back? Ah, damn. Okay, he's got those taunts back. That's going to make life a bit difficult, so we can steal something here.
Engaging TC-130, mental dislocator.
Okay, that helps a lot. Do we have to do this in a particular order? Can we still kill him regardless? Let's get some value first, just because it's so rare that I get to pull this play off. Oh, look at that value. Oh, and there's a win. I'm assuming I still had lethal, despite the healing. And there we go. Rank 3. Okay, our final game.
You asked for it.
Let the hunt begin.
We're going up against a mage here. And it is more than likely a Secrets Mage. What else is it likely to be at this rank? Which means I think we're pretty much unfavoured. So we need to find healing. I've kept Zilliax there. Don't know if that was the correct play or not. I'm sure Duwin will advise me in regards to that. But we need to find Reno. So let's see what tracking gives us. Okay, that's not Reno. Kartuk Defender is probably the correct pick for the healing, but I'm going to take Deathstalker Rexxar simply because I just can't bear to part with Rexxar. It's my favourite card in the game. And I know that's not a good reasoning for picking him, but there's two other reasons for picking him. The 2 damage AoE could be pertinent, and the zombie beast may be able to heal me. Particularly if I can play him on 6, it may be good enough. Maybe. Probably not though. Anyway, coined out a 3-drop here. Just because I've got 9 lives in hand, so we're going to be able to kill 1 minion here, and we can kill Stargazer Luna on this next turn. That's actually pretty good value. So we are now 3 turns into the game, into his 4th turn, and we've not taken any damage. That's pretty cool.
I'll show them. I'll show them.
And it feels like we've slowed him down a little bit.
Engaging TC-130. Mental dislocator.
I'm assuming he will probably trade and ping here. That is 2 mana. Utilised for a ping. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Okay, turn 5. Do we just play a secret? I think we do. No reason to play Zilliax here. No reason to play Zilliax just yet. Oh dear.
Let us wreak.
And that was worthy of an emote. He had Aloneth
Thank you.
on 6. Okay, that's actually pretty good value. That was actually awesome value. For those of you that are not convinced of the value of Wild Bloodstinger, it's just absorbed an explosive runes. It killed a minion from his hand, and it still survived. I mean, it could have killed something better from his hand, but still, that's pretty good. I mean, we're heading into my turn 7, and I have 29 health.
To our will. Hunt alone.
Now, 29 health isn't going to do much against Aloneth as we head into the next few turns. We are in a lot of trouble here. Mirror Entity, though, does make things quite interesting. With 2 spider bombs on the board, How does he deal with my board? I assume he's going to trade here. Yes, he does. Okay, let's see if the Cobra can survive. Oh, it does. This is pretty good. And each turn he's gonna want to dump as many cards as he can from his hand
We have many secrets.
to make room for new cards.
Time runs out on me.
More. I must have more.
Okay. We kill that. I'm scared of explosive runes, so I play brown.
Find me wherever the action is.
Yep, there's the runes. But we only take 2 damage. That's fine. Yeah, and King Crush. He doesn't care about Flame Ward. I mean, it's barely dented him.
An incredible discovery.
How do I have Zola in my hand?
You're not ready for
Could Zola the King Crush? I mean, that'd be pretty interesting.
Excuse me, you are on.
Oh, he's killing it.
Revel in the power.
But killing King Crush does mean that he's focused all that damage on the minion.
Precision. Perfection. Primitive.
Almost out of cards.
Part of me wondered if Deathstalker Rexxar was a better play on that last turn.
I'm late.
But Zola Zilliax does seem good as well. Not sure. Wow, look at him go.
An incredible.
He's really loading up this board here.
It's science, fool.
Okay.
Play with fire.
He's now into fatigue. So in theory, if I can survive one more turn, or this turn, going into his next turn,
Unity.
we should be able to win this game.
Primitive.
So we just need to remove the most amount of damage from the board. Heal up as much as we can.
Look at me.
Easy picking. I hunt alone.
This seems good. So the question is there enough damage in hand to kill me? He has to kill the Zilliax. That's 3 healing, potentially. Unless he uses a spell. Has to kill me now, this turn.
You're not ready for this.
Oh, here comes the secret. Kills Zilliax. We don't get the healing. Are we dead? No, we're not.
I must have.
And that's a win. Just about. And to think, we didn't find Reno, but we still managed to win that game with a bit of luck. Okay, so after the game was over, my opponent was well, quite gracious about things, actually. We became friends, and I was expecting to be insulted, yelled at, shouted at, which is often what happens when you become friends with someone after you beat them. But I guess what happened here is we were able to have a very nice and a very productive and a very civil conversation, breaking the game down. Yes, his Cabal Crystal Runners came in very, very late. Had they been drawn earlier, maybe he would have won the game. And he was also referring to the Bloodstinger, the wild Bloodstinger that did some serious work in terms of absorbing the explosive runes and killing a minion from his hand and surviving. All of that worked out pretty well for me, even without drawing Reno Jackson. Okay, so what do I think of this deck? Well, it's a Duwin deck, so of course it's fun, it's effective, it wins games. Was there ever any doubt? I won 3 in a row with this deck. It took me into rank 3, so I have a lot to be thankful for. So Duwin, thank you very much. Your deck has helped me progress on the ladder. Those of you that are interested in Hunter decks should really give Duwin a follow on Twitter. He is always innovating with the Hunter class, always coming up with new decks based on the meta that he's facing. Certainly a super cool dude as well, very grounded, has achieved a lot of success on Twitter, on the Hearthstone wild scene, is someone that is looked up to and respected, but he doesn't let it go to his head. He's always well grounded and always willing to help, always willing to be supportive. So yes, give Duwin a follow and you'll certainly be not only entertained but by his little clips that he posts on Twitter of him doing crazy things with Hunter decks, but you'll be well informed and well educated when it comes to playing Hunter on Wild. So, thanks for joining me everyone, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all again very soon for more One Mode fun.